This is Datila with 3 Years of Wrestling, bringing the Wrestling Time post show. And for tonight, I'm reviewing Monday Night Raw. Alright, so tonight's Monday Night Raw kicked off with the Bianca Belair. She didn't come out alone. She came out with Asuka and Alexa Bliss. And she basically came out and said how she wanted to challenge Bayley to a match tonight, but has learned from her mistakes. And she would know that Bayley should have faced Alexa one-on-one, but instead she had Iyo Sky and Dakota Kai get involved because she couldn't face her alone. So of course Bayley isn't gonna take this, and Damage Control comes out, and Bayley says that she thought that Bianca would have learned her lesson from last week. Bayley starts talking about how Bianca has been handpicked and positioned to be in the spot that she's in. Meanwhile, Bayley has been wanting to do this since she was 12 years old and said she was going to take over the WWE, and that's exactly what she's going to do. She talks about how Bianca was handpicked, placed, and chosen to be in that position. And Bianca fires back by saying she shows up and is showing out. Meanwhile, Bayley has been out with an injury. Bayley then says she hasn't been able to walk for 10 months. She taught herself how to walk, how to run. And she says she pinned Bianca. And Bianca says that everything she accomplished while Bayley was there. She reminding her of when Bianca headlined WrestleMania, Bayley was there. And so Bianca brings up the fact that she KO'd Bayley on the ladder. And so Bayley uses this to challenge Bianca to a ladder match for the Raw Women's title at Extreme Rules. And I was actually I'm actually excited for that ladder match. I think it's going to be a really, really good match. I'm pretty sure Iyo and Dakota Kai are going to get involved. Maybe Alexa and Asuka also going to get involved. But I cannot wait. I think it's hard for me to tell. It's hard for me to tell if Bayley's actually going to win this. Is it too soon for her to win? Should she win? Or is this feud going to continue? I mean, I don't know. I'm really excited. I'm excited, though. I cannot wait for this match. I think it might be too soon for Bayley to win. I mean, look what happened with Dakota Kai and Iyo Sky. They didn't win the tag team titles on the day of the tournament. And we thought they were going to win. So I actually like the fact that it's a little hard to tell who's going to win. So really happy for that. And then this leads into Bianca Belair versus Iyo Sky, which this was a fun match. Fun, good match. Iyo Sky with that drag to Bianca from the top rope, but Bianca ends up winning with the KOD. So let me see. An email message about Ranger Stop in Orlando, Florida on November at SeaWorld DoubleTree Hotel. Yeah, I heard about Ranger Stop actually. I'm thinking of going next year since there's no Power Morphicon next year. For those of you who don't know, Power Morphicon is every 2 years. So with Power Morphicon not being next year, I would so want to go to Ranger Stop. I've been trying to go, but with everything going on, it's just been kind of crazy. So Bianca beats Iyo Sky, which I'm sure some people are not happy about, but I think it adds to the story. I think they're going to trade back and forth wins until we get to Survivor Series. They're obviously building to the War Games match. So we get a quick Rey Mysterio segment, and he talks about how he wondered what happened to the kid that he raised. He didn't recognize the man that he has become, and he says Rhea is manipulating Dominic. And he's not going to show any mercy to Seth freaking Rollins. So we're supposed to have Rey Mysterio versus Seth freaking Rollins, but before the match, Seth freaking Rollins cuts a promo, and he welcomes people to Monday Night Rollins. He talks about how he's a revolutionary, a visionary, and he's Seth freaking Rollins. He says that he should be standing here as the new U.S. champion. The only reason he is not is because of Matt Riddle. He said that Riddle forced him to take his eyes off the balls and it cost him. He goes on to say that in every single match type he's been in, he can only imagine he's won them all. He says that Riddle's going to be flat on his back. Everyone's going to be singing Seth Rollins songs. That people already sing Seth Rollins songs. But I get what he's saying. And he says he hopes Riddle takes notes away the beating he's going to give Rey Mysterio. The beating that Rey is too afraid to give to his son. Ouch. So then this leads into match. And before the match, as Rey Mysterio is coming to the ring, I actually really like that Seth is mocking Rey's eye injury. If you guys remember, they had that eye for an eye match at Extreme Rules 2 years ago. Seth gouged Rey Mysterio's eye, and so I really like that little detail that Seth did. And Rey Mysterio attacked him before the start of the match. Rey bounces Seth's face on steel steps, and he gets like busted open. And then Rey does the whole Eddie thing. So here's the thing, like Dominic comes out with the chair, and he's basically sitting down watching his dad have this match. Now Seth Rollins attempts the Three Amigos, but before he gets to the third one, Rey Mysterio counters with the DDT. He also counters the 619 with the buckle bomb, which I thought was pretty cool. All right, so then, like at one point after Rey does the 619 to Seth Rollins, Dominic acts like he's gonna hit his dad with the chair, and he eggs him on to try to hit him, but Rey refuses until Rhea attacks Rey, allowing Seth to take advantage. So Seth hits Rey with the curb stomp, and he ends it with the Bavarian necktie. So like Rey passes out, and so Seth wins this match. I guess that's Seth sending a message to Matt Riddle for that fight pit match. Then backstage, you get a quick segment with Bobby Lashley and Matt Riddle. Basically, Bobby Lashley's telling Matt Riddle that he knows what it's like to fight in a cage, with both of them having MMA experience. And he says that he wishes him good luck against Priest, even though he knows he doesn't need it. All right, so then we get into Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano versus Alpha Academy. This is a match I was looking forward to. Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano, when they were in the Indies, they had a tag team named Panda Express. And one of the things that I liked about this was that Byron Saxton on commentary actually mentions how that came to be. He mentions how Johnny Gargano and Kevin Owens bonded over their love of pandas, and he even name drops Panda Express. And then Graves mentions how Byron Saxton should be hanging out in Reseda with the rest of the geeks, Reseda, California being the old home of PWG, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. And one of the spots I really liked in this match was when Johnny Gargano jumped on KO's back and he went choo-choo, referencing Panda Express. I thought that was a really cool spot. Obviously, they were in Canada, so Alpha Academy coming out with American flags. Just typical heels. Ouch. Otis going shoulder first into the ring post. Another spot that I like was KO doing the whole DX chop thing. And then Cannonball to Chad Gable. Of course, they're in Canada, so someone was going to do the sharpshooter. Kevin Owens doing the sharpshooter to Chad Gable. Now, this next spot I like. So, he laid Owens out onto the announce table, and then KO did the elbow from the barricade. He pretty much took out Otis. Then out of nowhere, Austin Theory tries to distract Johnny Gargano. But Johnny Gargano hits him with the super kick, and then Gargano hits Chad Gable with the DDT, allowing him and Kevin Owens to be victorious. So it was a fun, good match. I actually enjoyed it. And I honestly wouldn't mind seeing Panda Express team up more on Raw. All right. So then we get an AJ Styles segment. Basically, the gist of the segment is Finn Balor telling AJ how Sami Zayn's going to have Solo Sikoa and AJ's going to pretty much be alone. And since that they're friends, he's offering AJ for Judgment Day to be at ringside. But AJ refuses because he remembers what Judgment Day did to him. So we also find out we're going to have Strowman versus Chad Gable next week in Chad Gable's hometown of St. Paul, Minnesota. That should be a fun match. Then we had Omos versus two jobbers. I don't know what the whole point of that is. I really don't. It was pointless. Now that Braun Strowman is back, I don't see them using Omos as much. Really, I don't. So, I don't know. It was completely pointless. Okay, so then we had Nikki ASH. I think she was originally supposed to face Doudrop for this, but it ended up being a Candice LaRae. So Candice LaRae being back in there, it was actually not a surprise Candice LaRae came back. I mean, once Johnny Gargano made his return, I think it was inevitable that Candice LaRae was going to come back. She gave birth, in February of this year? So February is the second month. We're in the 9th. She was gone 7 months, and it looked like she didn't even miss a beat, honestly. So, like, Candice LaRae wins. I feel bad for Nikki ASH, but I think it adds to her story. Like, she rips off her mask, so it seems like maybe she might go back to being Nikki Cross and not Nikki ASH. Okay. So, another match that I was looking forward to was Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles. All right. So, with this match, I knew this was going to be a good match, and I was right. That suplex into the turnbuckle that Sami Zayn did to AJ Styles was cool. I really like that when AJ Styles went outside, he and Solo Sikoa had like a little stare down. Sami Zayn doing a blue thunder bomb, but it wasn't enough. Even though then afterwards Sami Zayn sent AJ Styles into the ring post, AJ put Sami Zayn in a calf crusher. That wasn't enough. Sami Zayn with the fistful of AJ Styles' hair. Ouch. Anybody that has long hair, I mean, I have long hair. You know that when someone tugs on your hair, it hurts. So here's where like Sami Zayn kind of distracted the referee a little bit so that Solo Sikoa can hit the Uranagi on AJ Styles on the ring post. On the ring apron, I should say. And Sami Zayn wins with a haluba kick. So I know some people are probably upset or shocked that Sami Zayn went over AJ Styles, but it makes sense because Sami Zayn was just acknowledged by Roman Reigns as an honorary Uso. It would be pointless or kind of unnecessary for Sami Zayn to lose this match because then he would probably hear it from Roman. So it's better that Sami Zayn won. And then this is adding to AJ Styles' storyline because afterwards what happens is Judgment Day comes out. And Finn Balor starts saying how it pains him to see AJ this way and that AJ deserves so much more better and that as a fair and generous person that he is, he's asking AJ to rise up and join Judgment Day. Finn Balor does it too sweet. And you know what AJ Styles does? You want to know what he does? He flips off Finn Balor. He flips him off. And then Judgment Day attack, and they put him in this chair, and they put a chair around his neck, and it looked like they were about to end AJ Styles. But Finn Balor stops him, and he said he's not going to do that because he's a friend. So, like, So this storyline added to AJ. They added AJ. So now it's like you have Judgment Day and Rey's storyline with his son Dominic, and you have Finn Balor's storyline with Edge, and now you have a Finn Balor's second storyline with AJ Styles. So it's like I wonder what the end goal to all of this is. So the main event ends up being Damian Priest versus Matt Riddle, which is actually a pretty good match. I actually really enjoyed it. Priest slamming Riddle into the barricade. Ouch. That looked like it hurt. It really did. I really like that powerbomb that Riddle did to Priest, followed by the knee. Damian Priest sent Matt Riddle crashing to the barricade. Of course, Rhea Ripley tried to cause a distraction, allowing Priest to take advantage. Matt Riddle was able to hit the Bro Derek to Damian Priest. Riddle going face first into the ring apron. Ouch. And then Finn Balor tried to cause a distraction. But despite that, Matt Riddle was victorious. So afterwards, of course, in typical Judgment Day faction, they do a post-match assault on Matt Riddle. Edge came back. Of course he came back. I mean, they're in Canada. They may not be in Toronto or Rialto, Canada, but they were in Edmond, Alberta, Canada. And, you know, Edge being Canadian, of course, he got a big welcome. So he speared Dom. He says that he always comes back, and he got to come back in Edmond, in his country. So he challenges Finn Balor to at Extreme Rules to an I Quit match. That should be a good match. I cannot wait. I wonder who's going to utter the words I quit. I can't picture Finn Balor saying it. I also cannot picture Edge saying I quit. So definitely going to be good. Overall, I thought tonight's show was great. I honestly would probably give it a 9 out of 10. Extreme Rules match is shaping up to be a good show. Yeah, exactly. Especially when you compare it to last year's. Okay, I'm going to say something. Like, last year's Extreme Rules pay-per-view was not a bad pay-per-view. It had great matches. The problem is that it was a gimmick pay-per-view. Had it been just a regular pay-per-view, I think it would have been a great pay-per-view. But because it was Extreme Rules, it was the most non-Extreme Rules pay-per-view I had ever seen. And Vince is probably having a heart attack seeing how Extreme Rules is shaping up this year. But I want to talk about something. So during the Rey Mysterio Seth Rollins match, a barcode flashed up. And if you put the coordinates lead to this, what do you guys think that looks like? It looks like a white rabbit. Looks like, I think they said it was like somewhere in Corbin, Kentucky. 6 out of 10. It was an okay show, but nothing happened aside from Edge and Candice LaRae returning. So there's a lot of speculation surrounding what that white rabbit means. I think I don't want to get our hopes up, but it could be Bray Wyatt. It seems like everything is kind of hinting to Bray Wyatt. I don't know when they're going to do the reveal. But what do you guys think the white rabbit is? I know some people thought it was Karrion Kross because that was his gimmick in Lucha Underground, but I don't think it's Karrion Kross. They wouldn't go through all this trouble just to repackage Karrion Kross. And besides Karrion Kross being featured weekly, if he had disappeared, then maybe, but because he's featured weekly, I highly doubt that's the case. Do you guys think it's Bray Wyatt? Do you guys think it's somebody else? Do you think Triple H is just like... Now they say it's either Bray Wyatt or Aleister Black. It's not Aleister. I don't think it's Aleister Black. I think that... I don't know how long his non-compete clause is, but I don't think it's Aleister Black. I really don't. So... It's Bray Wyatt is the only person I can think of. I can't really think of anybody else this would suit, you know? So I don't know how much longer they're going to keep this up. I mean, if you look at the Extreme Rules poster, there's like a little lantern behind Seth Freakin Rollins and Matt Riddle. So we'll see. But like I said, overall, this tonight was not a bad show. I just really disliked the whole Omos segment. I thought it was pointless, him and two jobbers. I don't know what they're going to do with Omos, but like I said earlier, now that Braun Strowman is back, I don't think they need Omos. Raw was okay, and my Giants lost on Monday. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Are they out? Does this mean they're out? But like I said, I don't know. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen with Omos, but they don't need them anymore. Now that they got... Omos is going, it's not going to make us stinky scary. Nope, definitely. I'm not gonna lie, they did a good job with Omos at the beginning when they paired him with AJ Styles. But after they split, he just went kind of downhill. And I don't know what they're gonna do or it's gonna take to rebuild Omos. But like I said, they really don't need him anymore. They are not out there 2-1. Oh, okay. But like I said, I give tonight's Raw. I thought it was a decent show. I give it an 8 out of 10 only for the simple reason that if you take out the Omos match, I think it would have been a much better show. But with that being said, you guys, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continuous support. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday after AEW Dynamite. Bye.